Hi guys, it's Kelly Harris here from KDS Keltec, and what you're about to watch is a video of how we apply nano coatings. My staff are cutting up some applicators at the moment from some brand new washed, tumble dried microfiber cloths. So why do we make our own applicators? Let me give you a brief overview of why. So traditionally, and still around, a lot of people use these hard blocks, not very flexible, with a thin bit of sponge and a micro suede. So that micro suede, it comes in all types of forms. You've got larger ones here, but very, very thin. They're not very absorbent, they're not very plush. The complete reverse almost of a microfiber, where you've got the plushness and then they're smooth. So the idea behind this is, with a nano coating, you pour the nano coating on there and it doesn't absorb too much because nano coatings are very expensive. And you go over the car, wiping it over the car, applying it. So reasons why we don't use these. Let's start with one reason first of all. How would I ever get into this door handle and get in them gaps with this? Common sense is take it off and use your fingertips. I'll explain why this is all a little bit of a problem as we go. So let's put it back on there. We put nano coatings on there and apply it on there. There's dust and dirt that's landed on the car. Bear in mind we're doing it indoors in our facility. I'm trying to talk about people now that are doing it in their garages at home, detailers that are out on the road, valeters that are now applying nano coatings. There's so many people all nano coating a car. It's popular now. So you've got dust and dirt land on the car, and then you start wiping side to side or up and down or in circle motions, whatever way, wiping. There's grit that can get on there, and it will get on there. It's not very plush. It's very, very thin. Go up close to that one. You see, it's not plush. It's not like a microfiber is, where it's absorbent. We all understand now that absorbent microfiber sucks the dirt away from the surface, so it sucks it into the pile, protecting the paint. So we get dirt on there, and we're not realised microscopic dirt, and then we've got a hard block. We start rubbing it over the surface. We put marring and scores in. Then we catch the corner, which is sharp, and you dig into that curve. So you can imagine now, how do you not dig as you're going side to side? So of course, yes, you could put your fingers around one of these, but now you've got high pressure point, fingertips, and now you're scrubbing the same dirty cloth. Nano coatings crystallise. There's many on the market now. I mean, 10, 11 years ago, there's probably only 2 or 3, 4 brands that are popular. There's hundreds now, it seems hundreds. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't even nano coatings. They call them ceramic, they're not. So it's a lye or a glass coating. But let's talk about real nano coatings. So this is an applicator that we used to use many, many years ago for Gtechniq. For similar reasons, I don't use it and never did, because it's small, so it's hard to hold. You use fingertip pressure. It's very, very thin, not very plush. So any dirt and was in the edges and gaps, or even in the air or on you, because you can have dirt on your clothes as you move on your arms, falls onto there. And now you're scoring your surface. So let's jump forward a few years. Gtechniq applicator now that you get in their box. So it's soft. Inside is a sponge. You can see it's a nice sponge inside there. So now if there's dirt and debris lands on the surface, it squashes in. So it's not quite as aggressive, but it's not sucking it away from the surface. It's staying on the surface. So that's better than this solution, sort of option. That's better than this option. Makes sense that you put your fingers in. I like the fact that it's compliant, it's soft. So now that would be very easy to apply product into that handle. But it doesn't suck away. So personally, you've got the perfect solution here. We've been teaching this for years. Microfiber cloths, which is what my staff were cutting up earlier, preparing their cloths. Now, having it that long means I can hold the end and I can now fold it. So I've not got direct pressure. There's a nice cushion for my fingertips. You could have it on the back of your fingers. You could have it fingertips around this way. You can even clasp like that and actually just drag the surface. So now you're not putting any immediate pressure down. So when we come to these door handles, I could do that in there and I'm putting no pressure. I could unfold it. I can drag it in through there like that. I can apply it very, very safely and very gentle. So hopefully that makes sense that we use microfiber cloths. What's the pros and what's the cons then? We're going to waste a lot of nano coating. It's part of the parcel, really. No different to this one. It's got a sponge. That's going to suck up a lot of the product. So that's going to waste it. But more importantly, we can take you over to where my staff are doing nano coatings, Crystal Serum Ultra at the moment. They've actually cut up mini applicators ready. So we can discard these very, very quickly because they're cheap. So the moment we've done a panel, or maybe a panel and a half, depending on the size of the panel, might be a whole bumper or a roof, we can throw this away because it costs nothing. It's always better to discard it than in case there's any dirt and debris. When you've only got one applicator in a pot or a box, you've got to carry on using it, or you've got to try and clean it and scrub it. So if we start one corner of the car and work our way around, and it's a windy, dirty, dusty day, and we work near a door, we don't in here. But I'm just going by the scenario of what a lot of people have to do. You rub the car, you're rubbing it all over. By the time you got around there, this will be really contaminated. So the car will progressively get more what we call micro marring, slight marks from an application. Whereas if we use a new one of these, every panel's clean and new. So yes, it does waste product, but it's a wastage that we have to deal with. I'd rather waste product because of the absorbency of the microfiber than mark the car and have to do 20, 30 hours more polishing. Doesn't seem to make any sense whatsoever. So let's take you round to my staff. What they're doing at the moment, they're checking the car, parts they've just done. So earlier on, we actually had 3 people doing the bonnet. So Ashley's now priming up an applicator, and we're going to do the quarter panel. They're going to open up the door, and we've opened that boot up so that we don't get any product overlapping onto the glass. So he's starting with the black pillar. He's then going to go along and apply it. Miguel's going to start buffing away, but we don't buff in one go. It's very light pressure, and it's like 3 buffs per application. So at the moment, Ashley's drawing a line that goes up through this quarter panel, and there's a curved line through here. That curved line is a natural crease line. So if I just close the door so it's easy to get to, there's a crease line there where he's applied to. So Ashley's now doing the second buff, and he's taking more of the product off without removing all of it. It's almost a gentle spread, and each time you rub, you're passing past, you're taking some of the residue away. So by the third buff, what Miguel's doing, that should have taken all the product off, all the residue. But what we've got to do, Ashley's going to go around with another clean cloth. He's going to do the fourth one, concentrate on the edges more. Because when you apply this, you're spreading it. And what happens is there's a natural, if you do it straight lines or circle motions, you unfortunately naturally spread it further than where you've applied it. So you've always got to be aware of the adjacent panels, and almost like an over wipe. You start in the middle of the panel, and each time you buff, the wipe gets wider and wider. Now they're discarding the cloth straight away. He's picking up the light source to check it. If you don't do these sort of checks, it's very easy to get smears and patchiness and over application. And in some cases, if it's left too long, it can be a nightmare to remove. Sometimes it's impossible to remove with chemicals. Depends on the durability of the product you're using. In this case, Crystal Serum Ultra is going to take more than just chemicals to remove cured on smears. You're going to have to abrade it off with either sandpaper or polishing. So it's paramount what they're doing now with the lighting, what they're doing is to check it all completely and utterly thoroughly to make sure there's no smears or residues anywhere. So we're then applying the next lot of product through there. We've sectioned this quarter panel into 2 areas. So the bonnet that we've done earlier, because it's a large flat panel, we've had to use 3 people, so it's a continuous process. So while one's applying, you've got one removing, and then one's moved on the application, the removal's removed on, and then there's another person coming behind. So it's an overlapping motion that never stops, so you don't get a join line. So now what they're going to do, they're going to open the door again. Ash is going to draw around an edge of the panel first of all. You can see it's being very neat and tidy around the edge, and then you fill in the gaps. So you can see how he's applied it, and then he's spreading into the middle. And it's literally making the cloth flop to and fro. There's no real heavy pressure here. He's just making sure there's nothing missed. So you can appreciate if there was dirt and dust now on the surface, in this building, on us, and we're using a very, very thin applicator, wasn't a microfiber, it's going to massively increase the possibility of scratches and marring we get. So there, Miguel has started to spread. This is not really a buff off. It's not like wax. In the old days, we used to wax and buff off the wax. He's spreading, so there's still a smear there, residue. Then Ashley will be doing the second buff. Then Miguel's flipped the cloth, changed cloths, So he's on a third buff. There's a lot of fast movement happening here, and there's a lot of switching round. Now, you have to appreciate this is how long it takes and how much work's involved in putting nano coatings on. But when you've got either semi-permanent, in this case a permanent coating that cannot be removed from chemicals, and it flashes off of, depending on temperature, humidity, between 30 and 60 seconds from when you're buffing, and then you only get a minute, maybe 2 minutes to fix any problems and issues with chemicals. After that, it's cured. You can't remove it. So you can see why they would now be checking with the light again. And now Ashley's actually checking further down onto the lower seal part, not the wing. And Miguel will do the same around the light like he's doing now. He's doing around the light and the bumper, because as you buff, like I said earlier, it spreads further, you push it away. You have to be aware of the adjacent panels, because it'd be very easy to concentrate on just the one panel that you're doing, not think about where you've pushed the product to, and then you've left that product smeared and it's gone hard. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. I've got a very good friend of mine that's got a red car. It's flat red, straight red like this. So it hasn't got metallic in, that's what we call straight red. He's done the exact same processes here with a similar nano coating. And what's unfortunately happened is he's not been aware of it, and he's left smears everywhere. It's to our eyes, it looks terrible. He's quite upset. He didn't realise how hard it was to do nano coating, and totally agreed that his garage at home, he's got not the right lighting, not enough lighting, there's too many shadows, and he has got a very large double garage. So he has the distance to be able to stand back, but he's only got one light, and he's only probably once every 2-3 years puts nano coatings on. He hasn't got enough experience with a product light similar to this, where it cures and goes off so well. This is going to probably take 2.5-3 hours to apply. It's a long process in relation to how long the car has actually been working on this one here, from the washing stage, from degreasing it, from claying it to polishing it, then panel wiping it down. 2-3 hours is actually a short time when you consider this is probably about a 50-hour process. By the way, this is the first coat, Crystal Serum Ultra. We have 2 coats of Exo that will go on after this once this is cured. They will happen tomorrow, because we'll apply the Crystal Serum Ultra today. This is one of the last panels to be done, and then what we'll do, we'll leave it to cure overnight, so it's been fully cured for a minimum of 12 hours, and then we'll put Exo on. And the same process, exactly the same way as what you're doing here. It doesn't really change, same applicators, same cloths, same people doing it, the same process. Which actually brings me on nicely to the wheels, which are over here. We've put them out of the way. We've also done the same treatment, the Crystal Serum Ultra and Exo on the wheels, so they're just painted the same sort of, can be in the same sort of lacquer, or exactly the same lacquer as car paint is. So they can be treated exactly the same way. So those wheels have been coated. We've got another set of wheels over here for BMW that's in the background that's having the exact same process. We've had the wheels coated, we move them out of the way. That car's going to have Crystal Serum Ultra and Exo V4, 2 coats. So we've got the glass to do. The calipers we haven't done yet, have we, Ashley?
I have done
Serum on it, not Exo. So the calipers have just got Crystal Serum Ultra on there at the moment, but not Exo. So again, calipers are painted. They're not any different. So we coat the calipers with the wheels off. We coat the wheels with the wheels off. So that's the backs of the wheels, the front of the wheels. Then we do all the paint work. So you can see, we're using a scan grip, like I showed earlier in previous videos. A lot of arm movement. Take the light away, and then if you look, they're even pulling the light in and out at different distances, looking at all the tricky angles, so we don't miss anything. It's a nightmare if it goes wrong. You're better off just taking your time in the right conditions and doing the best possible job every single time. It's not forgiving. It's not like a wax. It's not something to just wipe off easy. So I think that's going to conclude this video. Hopefully that's been helpful, educational. Got my little minions over there, busy. It's Miguel is a minion. I have got photos of him in Las Vegas SEMA last year with your minion. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, whatever it was. Minion Fiction in the foyer of the casino. Huh? We can put the photo in if you really want to be famous, Miguel. Yeah, I'm sure we should put the photo in now, really. But anyway, Kelly Harris, don't forget to like, share, smash the bell, and comment down below, please. We do read the comments. We'd love to hear what you want. We've got lots more information coming. So thank you very much and goodbye.